West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nepal have beaten West Indies by 90 runs. 9-0. 9-0. Nearly 100 runs, cuz.
West Indies out here playing limbo. Just when you think they can't take it any lower, they take us there. 91s. Two-time world champions West Indies, getting finished out here. And Mash, obviously, again, I'll say fair play to Nepal because I was watching that game. They fielded, they stopped every run. I saw them stop sixes. I saw them take screamers, catches, jumping, diving around. Every run mattered for them. You could see the intensity. West Indies looked tired. West Indies looked like they wanted to go home. Obviously, the first excuse I'm going to say people will give is, this wasn't West Indies' first choice side. However, Mash, we still had, Jason Holder, Carl Mayers, Akil Hussain, Fabian Allen. There was a lot of players who would make the West Indies 11. So we can't really use that as an excuse. But 90 runs, Mash. Not even. I think it's the highest margin of defeat that a full test member nation has had against an associate side. We just got outclassed. If you'd watching cricket for the first time, you'd think Nepal were the two-time world champions, and they were just handing down licks on any team. So to be a comprehensive 90 run, and the thing is, T20 we can say, these things happen once in a while. We've lost the series, Mash. We're done out here. 2-0 series done. You lot were laughing when Mash said he was praying. He went to church on Sunday praying for one win against Nepal. Man, we're laughing. Listen, I'll take that win now.
You know what? Do you know what? I've kind of gone through the stages of grief today. And the most worrying thing about where my mindset is now at, I don't care. Like I think slowly but surely, I think I'm reaching that stage of I'm not even angry. I just like I'll still watch, but Santokie, I don't think I care anymore. Like these guys are beating, like they've nearly succeeded in beating all hope out of me. I go into all games against all oppositions expecting to lose, right? You see, when we go to the World Cup next year, if we draw, if Italy are in our group, I'd expect them to beat us, And Santokie, let me explain to you. I'm not even no bantering now. I'm genuinely not bantering. This is me talking with no jokes involved. Would you be confident if next year in the World Cup we had Italy in our group? Because I wouldn't be.
Bro, I wouldn't be confident if we're playing flipping San Marino in cricket. Well, in group at the moment, I don't know what to. You have to be smoking something at this point in time to say you're confident about West Indies being anyone at any level, men, women, senior, whatever. If you're confident about West Indies, then I don't know what you've been smoking because there's nothing to instill confidence in us at the moment. At this point in time, we just have to be grateful if we can get a win somewhere, wherever we have to take it. So, like I said, the final match of the series, if we can get that win, consolation win, we'll be happy. West Indies will take that win. But Mash, I just think as you said, it is what you said. It's like the stages of grief, right? Because at this point in time, I'm just like, I'm shrugging my shoulders. I'm like, it is what it is. When we lost to Netherlands, when we got 27 all out, it was like anger. It was like, oh man, I can't believe this happened. We need to come back. Yeah. Now it's just like resignation. Like, all right, cool. This is the levels we're at. And people laugh at us. People say we see this as a joke thing because we say West Indies are an associate nation. Watch that match and tell me you saw a full member nation. That wasn't a full member nation playing out there against Nepal. Nepal beat us in all areas of the game. It was a comprehensive loss, Mash. It was embarrassing for West Indies cricket. And obviously, like I said, I don't want it to be. I'll acknowledge that it wasn't the first team, but I don't want that to be used as an excuse. I think the coaching setup at Cricket West Indies have a lot to answer for in terms of where we're going through and developmental, Mash. people were saying Nepal obviously played more games together, but we were coming off a CPL. Every man technically had a good run of CPL domestic games. And like we said on the last episode, this is a reflection of where we're at in terms of CPL. The whole system is rotten, Mash. The whole system needs to get a reset. Essentially, like we need to rip up the cricket pitches and start all over again because
this is genuinely. I don't want to do that cliched thing of saying this is the lowest of the low, right? Because as I always say to you, there's a next low coming. I don't even know what. No, because Santokie, think about it. We've had Netherlands chase 374. We just had 27 all out. They couldn't even give us 2 months before they served up 90 runs defeat to Nepal.
Man, you know what the maddest thing is, yeah? Like, so obviously Nepal hit, what did they hit? 173 or whatever for 6, yeah? Obviously, it was a good score. It's higher than what they scored in the first innings. At the interview, the commentators, I think Bish and Carlos Brathwaite were saying, oh, okay, cool. West Indies game plan, come out, play with intent, yeah? We take it to Nepal. It's a big score. We got to come out, score fast. I'm sure in their head they're thinking, yeah, try to get like 60, 70 runs in the power play. Give us a good platform. After 5 overs, Mash, we were 7 for 2. After 5 overs, we were 7 for 2. Do you know how? No, I don't understand. We lost 2 wickets, right? So you're taking that out of the equation, right? So 5 overs, 30 balls. You lost 2 wickets, so 2 balls. So for 28 balls in a T20 match, we scored 7 runs. You know?
Against Nepal. Because with all due respect to Nepal, like big up Nepal. There's been turmoil going on in their country, and their fans are amazing, and big up them. But respectfully, 7 runs in 5 overs.
If someone told me, yeah, West Indies scored 7 runs in 5 overs. I'll say, okay, cool. We must have been playing in India and we must have been trying to deal with Bumrah and trying to see him off to be tapping it for our lives, you know, blocking it for our lives, like trying to struggle. These times it's against Nepal, Mash. Against Nepal, was out here scoring 7 runs. I think Joel Andrew was obviously open. I think he went for 2 off 11. And I think it was Carl Mayers soaked up the rest of the balls essentially. And that Carl Mayers as a senior player was disappointing, but that just smashed that in a nutshell. There were 2 moments in a nutshell. That 5 overs scoring 7 for runs, and there was a moment in the game during the Nepal innings. Jediah Blades was bowling, right, and the Nepalese batter hit the ball into the air, and Jediah Blades and Akhil Hussain both just stood there looking at each other, and the ball dropped in the middle of them. And then, bro, they didn't even. I would have understood if they started cussing each other out. They just shook each other's hand and were smiling and carried on, bro. That for me summed up everything for West Indies. There was no passion, there was no discipline, there was no organization. We scored 7 runs in 5 overs against Nepal. That is anyone under 18 watching that game, if you're in the Caribbean, that's put you off cricket for life, Mash. 7 runs in 5 overs against Nepal. It's crazy.
But on a serious note, on a big and serious note, right? Just answer these questions for me, Santokie. Big and serious. In Test cricket, are we an associate side in Test cricket?
What you mean in terms of the quality?
Yeah.
Basically, we're down. It's basically us and what?
Ireland
basically
and them, man.
Ireland, Zimbabwe, yeah, Afghanistan.
Right. So in Test cricket, we are down with Ireland, Zimbabwe, Pakistan. I know the Pakistanis going to get upset that I've mentioned them, but they're down horrendous as well, right? So Ireland, Zimbabwe, Pakistan, and Bangladesh are down in the dumps in Test cricket, right? ODI cricket, in fairness to Sammy, ODI cricket, we've at least learned how to win at home, right? But generally speaking, for the best part of the last 10 years, we've been down horrendous, right? I think it's fair to say, Santokie, in the T20 format, Remember this summer with our first team squad, what was it, 17 Ls or whatever it was this summer that we had, right? There's an argument to say that in T20 cricket, we've just followed the trend of all the other formats I was speaking to Basil Butcher Jr. earlier on today, and he said to me, Mash, if you think about it, Test cricket, we were champions of the world for like 15 years. Now we're shit, right? ODI cricket, we won the first 2 World Cups. Now we're shit. T20, we won 2012, 2016, and now we're shit. Like T20 was the last format to catch up with us just being down horrendous. We are just down horrendous across all formats of cricket.
It's why we tried to start up T10, but obviously now with the Indian sponsors going down, even that's gone downhill, man. So I don't know where the hope's going to be. And let's take it. Do you want to analyze the game? Should we go through the game? Because for me, yeah, like the game, it was
Keep
similar.
talking. I'm just getting my charger. Keep talking.
Yeah, it was similar to the first game. So obviously, Nepal lost their opener Bertul, and then the captain Rohit. They fell to Akil Hussain. And for me, I was thinking, all right, cool. At least we've got the message, right? Akil stepped up. He's bowling. He's taken 2 wickets early. Holder was there bowling with him as well. They looked intense, like the two senior players. And then Mash, it just fell away. I think it was Asif Sheikh, the wicketkeeper, Sandeep Jora. They just piled on the sixes. Like every over, they were hitting a six. I think between them, they hit 7 sixes and 11 fours. And they just piled on the runs, Mash. And it was, I get it, it's an inexperienced bowling lineup. So other than Akil Hussain and Carl Mayers at the end, everyone else sort of took licks. Jisam Matara in for his calm down for playing one of the T20 matches in their career. But this is the thing, Mash. Like you can't. This doesn't. Even if you haven't played that many T20 games, you should have enough quality through just playing domestically and as a youth man to be able to get through Nepal.
Let's put in this perspective. The last time Nepal played cricket was June. Yeah. All of our players literally just came from CPL. So what the hell does that? Either that means CP, like what does that tell us then? That tells me CPL's no good. They've literally just come from 2 months of T20 cricket and they're serving this up. So what are we saying then? CPL must be trash because we've been playing T20 cricket more recently than Nepal.
Yeah. So like I said, I acknowledge the fact that 5 players have had their debut, but as a collective under the West Indies banner, we should be strong enough to beat Nepal, right? It's not as if like these men have played T20 cricket. Obviously, in the case of someone like Zishan, he hasn't played. He didn't even play much in CPL. But then there's an argument: why was he called up for the West Indies side? Because we've got lack of options at the moment, so we're just having to call up any man, literally. And then obviously, Badesi as well. He had a great first game, struggled in the second game, but that's what you're going to get when you've only played a handful of T20 matches. So it's a reflection of where our T20 side is. But Mash, again, as much as we're saying, this is this doesn't count. People are saying this doesn't count. It's experimental side. So hold on, the World Cup's in 3 months. Let's just say we get 4 or 5 injuries. These are the men who are going to be.
That's what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. It is a B team / C team, whatever you want to call it. But if this is the whatever, I don't care how people want to paint it. Right? This is technically the best of the rest. It's not like they selected a team of just random people and said, "Okay, you lot come." Surely the selection was based on right. So, for example, Santokie, because I think a lot of people comment on West Indies cricket without understanding West Indies cricket, right? So, for example, they picked Ramon Simmons, Jadea Blades, and Obed McCoy because West Indies do not have a left-arm seamer. These are the next best ones that they've got. They picked Matara and Navin Badesi because they know that they don't have a leg spinner. These are the next best ones they could identify. These players weren't just picked on banter. They've picked for specific roles. So this is the next best stuff that we've got. And whether it's a B team, C team, whatever, God forbid 3-4 man pick up injuries before the World Cup. Fam.
That makes it, you know what? It's even worse for me that there was actually some sort of strategy behind this. I would rather if they said they just picked a random 15 man, drew a lot and picked 15 man. Then I would understand getting comprehensively beat by 90 runs, Mash. 90 runs in a T20 match is mad. Like, even if West Indies had lost to Australia or India by 90 runs, I'd be like, that is mad for a T20 match. To lose to Nepal, and obviously I understand it was away conditions. West Indies traditionally don't do well in UAE, but come on, 90 runs is shambolic.
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree with you. There is a context of 2021 World Cup. We were trash in UAE, right? But in fact, didn't England bowl us out for 55 in that World Cup or something ridiculous like that? But 90? 90. 90 runs, Santokie. 90. Do you know the worst thing for me? There was a point, I can't remember if it was when Fabian got out or when Akil got out, but there was a point in our reply where I genuinely believe Nepal almost felt embarrassed to celebrate because it was so easy. Like
think it
there
was
was one celebration where we did a bat up and catch to the man at like deep mid wicket or something, and the guy threw up the ball, but not even like yeah, he was just like, oh, that's out. Like
it was
almost like
after,
what we're just doing this.
It was after Fabian Allen like chopped on. I forgot who the bowler was. Was it Birtle? It might have been Birtle. Man was just dismissive, like, you know, when it's like you're just handing out licks to any little team, and then you're just there like, oh, this is job done. Nepal just stopped celebrating because at some point, Mash, like the match loses competitiveness, right? West Indies were just taking one hell of a beating, and Nepal were just like, oh, these guys have, you know, they've taken time out to become the first full member nation to give us a series, and we're out here dishing them unprecedented licks. It's like Nepal felt bad for us, man. This is how bad things are gone.
Yeah, it's no joke. It's actually no joke. But let's try and answer this, Santokie, because there's about 300 of you in the live. So big up everybody who's in this live. Like, share, and subscribe to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. If you'd like to support the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, go to Patreon, www.patreon.com/CaribCricket. Subscribe to Caribbean Cricket News. Everything's in the description below, but support people at the bare minimum. Like, share, and subscribe, because that supports as well. But we have to answer it, Santokie, because this is when we lose the final game as well and lose the series 3-0. You know what's going to happen next. There's going to be loads of articles. Sack Darren Sammy, sack Kishore Shallow, sack everyone. This is the lowest of the low of West Indies cricket. Like we get to this happens now every 6 months in West Indies cricket. We need more thinking time on it, Santokie. But what do you say to what is inevitably going to happen next, which is sack everyone? Like, what's your answer to all this?
It's not going to, like we said this before, it's not going to be the solution to anything, right? It's a quick fix. It's if you want to get headlines, you sack the coach, right? But what's it going to fix? Like the problems are too systematic, so it's not going to fix anything. The only sad thing, I imagine Cricket West Indies organised this tour to give us like some sort of relief in between the Australia tests and the India tests. But as it stands, we're going to take a 3-0 lick and then head off to the India series where we're going to take more licks. So at this point, Mash, it goes back to what you're saying. Like with T20 cricket, it used to give us some respite from how bad we were in ODI and Test cricket. Now it's just everywhere, every format we're looking, we're taking licks, Mash. You can't escape the licks. It's impossible at the moment. I do think questions need to be asked of Sammy and the coaching staff in terms of selections and how they're inevitably, because you can't take this losses, but I don't think the call would be to sack him. I don't think that's going to happen, but it just opens up wider questions, Mash, in terms of what are the capabilities of this side at the World Cup? What can we hope for at this point in time? If we're adding a few more, obviously we got a few more to come back, but generally the core of the side, or the sort of aura of the side is rotten at the moment. You can pick 11 players, whoever you want from the region, whether it be Rutherford, Shepherd, Hetmeyer. It just feels like we're in a bad place at the moment. I don't know how you come out of that.
Keep talking on. This charger, it's not on. My laptop's about to die, cuz. But anyways, I've got it on now. Here's the thing, though, Santokie, right? I said before this series that I thought that at least, so there's a 15-man squad for the World Cup in February. And I said before this series, 14 players are already assured of their position, right? Yeah. And I think we've seen in this series why 14 players are basically assured of their position. There is absolutely... Do you know the worst thing about this series, Santokie, is no one is going to come out of this series with us having any more questions answered. Like, nobody is challenging... Yeah. No one from this series is going to challenge the 14 names that I think are all... This is why players like Hetmeyer are certain of going to the World Cup, because as down bad as Hetmeyer is and as inconsistent as he is, look what's beneath him. No one can't come and... You can't come and replace Hetmeyer with this lot. And this is why, as much as people cuss Santokie, this is why Johnson Charles will play until he's 49 years old. Because there's no one to replace Johnson. Santokie, we just made 7 runs in 5
I don't. The 7 runs is mad to me. Like, what was Carl Mayers doing, though? I get he's been out of international cricket, but he's been playing T20 cricket. He's a senior player. How could Carl Mayers be part of that 7 runs after 5 overs? That is shambolic, Mash. 7 runs after... Do you know how mad that is? Like, me and you batting in a power play would have put together at least 9 runs or 10 runs. You just swing it at some point, right? You just go for it. Like, I don't understand how you can get 7 runs after 5 overs when you're chasing 173. Do you know? The match was over by the 5th over, basically.
Yeah, the match was, for me, I I remember kissing my teeth after the third over and going, "This is done already." After 3 overs, do you know how crazy that is to know after 3 overs you've lost the game? In a T20 match, you go, "This game's over, cuz." 3 overs, 3 against Nepal, cuz.
Against Nepal, bro. So anyway, I think on the positives are if you're Nepalese, obviously historic time for your country cricket and wise. This obviously strengthens the case that I think they were pushing for full member nationhood as well. So West Indies out here, helping out the smaller nations by giving them that morale boosting win. But yeah, Kenya beat West Indies back in the day. I'm pretty sure you know what, this has happened. I'm pretty sure Ireland bowled when we had like Clive Lloyd and Viv Richards bowled West Indies out for like 25 back in the day as well. So there has been anomalies where it's happened. West Indies have capitulated. But Mash, this capitulation has happened right after 27 all out. So
yeah, I was going to say that Kenya reference is just not fit for purpose because we capitulate every 3 months. Like that Kenya thing was an anomaly. We are now in an era. The reality is, Santokie, and I don't think this is an exaggeration. We are now in an era where we expect capitulation in any series against. And I fear, all jokes aside now, would you be shocked if in the India Test match we get bowled down for less than 60 in an innings? Would you be shocked?
I thought you were going to say 30, but yeah, no, 60. Listen. That if we're put into bat India in the first on day 1, I'm gonna be sweating, until we get 28, bro. Because
this is what I'm saying. This
27 all out is at risk at this point in time.
This is what I'm saying, and I take no comfort. I take no comfort in anybody saying to me, but are like 10, like basically 14, no, at least 12 of our first choice squad aren't here, right? So in the squad that we've currently got playing Nepal, really and truly, only Akil Hussain and Jason Holder can say, I am going to be in the World Cup squad. So let's just say that we've only carried 2 of our 15-man squad to play this series. But I take no comfort in knowing that, Santokie, because I'm not even convinced that our full-strength squad would beat Nepal.
Yeah, exactly.
The match might be closer, but I'm not convinced even they would beat Nepal.
That's what I'm saying. It's too simplistic to say, okay, cool. If we had certain man back, we beat Nepal. I think in UAE against Nepal, the best we had in the region, our best 11 would be struggling out here, whether you open with Evan Lewis and Johnson Charles. So I think obviously people will want to console themselves by saying this is an experimental side. But it is what it is. And Mash, the thing is, obviously you tweeted out earlier, and we weren't even joking, like, when they do these TV streams, they need to get us on there because we're the only ones giving that real analysis. Everyone else, obviously, I get if you're under contract, you got to say certain things and you can't be too negative on your own side. But no one's talking the talk. Everyone's talking as if this should come as a massive shock. If you go back for all our videos, we were saying Nepal were the favourites. We'd be lucky to get 1 win. People were laughing at us. This is what happens. If you study the game like we're watching every single game West Indies play, you'll see the pattern match and it shouldn't be a shock. So we'll do a series review. Hopefully, West Indies can get that consolation win. But either way, we'll do a series review at some point in the week where we'll deep dive into it more. This was just a quick one to get our reaction, to another all-time low for West Indies cricket. How many we got to do an end of the year episode? Is 2025 one of the worst years?
Bro, what's gonna win when we do our 2025 awards? There's so many contenders for catfish. There's so many. Like, what's even worse? 27 all out. Or 90 runs versus Nepal, cuz. 7 runs in 5 overs, cuz. Oh my god. Do you know what? I think 7 runs in 5 overs is worse than 27 all out.
Runs in 5 overs.
That's Australia.
Thank you everyone who joined us, for this live show. Last minute, we thought we'd do a quick reaction for what's turning out to be a monumental down bad series for West Indies. We'll be back as ever, with some of you. And obviously, the big test series starts. I ain't even got the energy for this.
I don't even want to. All truth be told, Santokie, I want that test series to end quickly because I just can't. I can't take it, cuz I can't take what's about to happen to us.
5 in the morning. Man said 5 in the morning, just watching Bumba licking it down. Who are players DJ Pollard grooming like Yuvi did for Gil and Abbey? Why did Jewel register for SAT20 without doing anything? Well, firstly, I think obviously Pollard and Bravo, they're only 2 men. They can't really. It's not really the set. Like they're obviously no Ute man in the area, but they're not involved in the West Indies setup, right? So there's no one who they can kind of have a direct link with. And Jewel Andrew, obviously, he's got talent. I think world cricket, not even West Indies or in the Caribbean, we know world cricket people know his potential. So probably he thought it was worth a shot, going to the draft, see if someone took a risk on it. I think going into a draft, you've got nothing to lose, really. So that's not really even neither here or there. But obviously, as we've seen in this series, Jewel Andrew, as much as he's got potential, there's a lot to work on that needs to be worked on in his game. He's still a young man. He's only, 18 or 19? So still a lot to work on. But we'll get into all of these sort of topics when we do our deep dive into the series and look out for that content. So as Mash said earlier, like, comment, share, subscribe, Instagram, X, TikTok, Blue Sky, Facebook. Most importantly, as you see on the ticker below, patreon.com/CaribCricket. Any little helps us keep the movement going. And Mash, I'll hand over the final word to you.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? As much as we're critical and as much as we've run out of words that we can really say about West Indies cricket, I think we should end on a positive, right? And the positive is actually Nepal, right? Big up Nepal, really. Let's end it like that. Big up Nepal, because I'm not a fan of this whole full member and associate status thing. To me, that's nonsense, right? West Indies are a full member side in nostalgia only. Nepal deserve their flowers. And actually, let me just say to the rest of Asia, why don't you lot play a series against Nepal? So Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, we've shown you the way. Nepal have lenged us down. Comfy. They've done us in. It's time for the rest of Asia to start giving 3-match series to Nepal as well and play them and let the team show you what they can do against you as well. Anyways, peace. Big up the Nepalese. West Indies fans, you done know already. We're the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Nobody keeps it nobody keeps it real like us. I just show this comment. TM says Nepal didn't qualify for the Asian Cup. The way the Asian Cup qualifications were not done, it wasn't done through qualification for Nepal. So make sure you go and read that up properly, please, rather than saying they didn't qualify. That's actually fake news. Anyways, just thought I'd clear that up. Big up the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Big up everybody who's been listening. I've been Machel St. Patrick Hewitt. Santokie's been Santokie. Like, share, subscribe on your way out. We'll be back very, very soon. Probably after the third T20 when we lose that one as well. See you all then. Peace.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.